Hello, I'm going to show you how to view a Minidump using Minidump browser. I'm going to load this Minidump. This Minidump was created from a crashed application that was written with the Delphi language. And pretty soon the Minidump's loaded, and we can see, because the Minidump contains an exception, we go straight to the exception page. If the source code can be found, which not all applications it can be found, but if it can be found, the source code is displayed. If the source code can't be found, the call stack will be displayed. And you can expand the call stack to see what the code is doing. And there we are at the crash location, which is the same as that one. If we go to registers, we can see what values were in the processor registers at the time of the crash. Any symbols that can be turned into a module name or a function name or source file name and line number will display that information next to the pointer value. Various registers off the screen as well. At the top we've got the exception address and the module it's in, function it's in, source code location and line number. Line below we've got the function name, a line below that we've just got the source file name and line number. Got various parameters. We can tell this particular crash was a read from a memory address, and the memory address was null, 0, that's why it's an access violation. If you want more information about the program, go to the call stacks and you can see the different thread call stacks in the program. We've got 3 worker threads doing not much and the thread that's crashed. If this information about the threads is not what you're looking for, you can go in and inspect in detail the stuff that's in the other 3 thread sections. And what's displayed in these will depend very much on how the Minidump was created and whether your application had named its threads or not. Go to the handles tab, you can see the handles that were active at the time of the crash. The memory, we can go to see the memory regions that are in the Minidump. Memory info shows you where the memory was allocated, its size, what the protections were when it was allocated, what the protections were at the time of the crash, whether the memory is free, committed, reserved, and so on. And then we've also got what the memory is being used for. So here, if it's used by a module, we show the module name. If it's used by a thread, we show the thread ID. If it's memory mapped, we show you that it's memory mapped. And if it's private to the process, we show that it's private, and so on. VM counters, very useful if they're in the Minidump. Not every Minidump contains these. Modules, list of the modules and their load addresses at the time of the crash. This is and also the PDB GUID and the age. This is useful for being able to download the correct version of the DLL, because you might have collected this Minidump on a different machine, and then once you've got that DLL you can then obtain the correct PDB debug information if it's a Microsoft DLL or it's a DLL of yours built with Visual Studio and stored in a symbol server. Minidump browser will download these DLLs and PDBs automatically for you based on the information in the Minidump. Unloaded modules. Very useful for there aren't any for this Minidump, but if there were, you would be able to check any pointer values against the unloaded module addresses to see if the pointers were pointing to modules that have been unloaded, and that would indicate there might well be a problem with that pointer. The system section shows you various information about the machine itself, the CPU, the speed of things, how many cores it's got, and so on. And here we've got invalid CPU information, unfortunately, which happens in some Minidumps, but not all. Not quite sure why that is. System memory info, not present in all Minidumps. MISC info seems to be present in most Minidumps. Tokens, we've got some tokens here. Not often you see that. Summary gives you an overview of the Minidump, and comments lets you read any comments that were written to the Minidump at the time the Minidump was created. This is usually blank, but occasionally it might have something in it. So that's how you view a Minidump with the Minidump browser. No technical knowledge of debug is required. Perfect for software developers, for system administrators, and general IT people. Thank you very much.